1, 2, 3, 4.
In this podcast, you will hear Knights of Vader, Knights of Vader includes, but is not limited to, talk of Star Wars, not Reagan's. We can't truly prepare you for the junk that follows this song, but hey, we gave it a try, so here's the Knights of Vader. Crystal Fox reports they are divided. Prequel, sequel, hate and love they fight. I know that we are just musicians hired, and their time is up, so here's the Knights of Vader.
Impressive. Most impressive.
A big thank you to An Insperiority Complex for providing our theme song. It is March 24th, 2024. My name is Zach Weber, and joining me is Canada's premier fourth best vintage Star Wars collector, Chris.
Hey, happy to be here to talk about the Alien Romulus trailer.
What?
And joining us is Grand Admiral Jason Kelsey.
I hate it so much. I retired. Leave me alone.
I want everybody to go to his Wikipedia page and just look at the images over the last 10, 15 years. And every time Zenger's talked about his personal life to me or on the podcast, I can just see different things I can extrapolate. I can see Zenger's GameStop era. I can see his God of War era. I can see his now era. It's great. It's it's pretty much a roadmap to Zenger's life, but without his name on it.
Exactly.
Zenger's not even going to pick up that hot potato.
Nope.
All right. So we are maybe talking about the Alien Romulus trailer that literally looks like a combination of Alien and Aliens. But first, we are going to discuss the Acolyte. We finally get marketing of this show that's been dangled in front of us like a carrot in front of a horse for 4 years now. And I have to say, I am getting a strong Attack of the Clones vibe, which is not a bad thing to me. But I want to ask Zenger, on a scale of Sifo Dyas to it's coarse and rough and it gets everywhere, how excited are you for the Acolyte based off the marketing, Zenger?
Based off of what I've seen, it made me angry and actually look up some stuff on the High Republic that I'm more interested in now. I'm violently angry about stuff, and this drastic indifference, and I hate the rule of 2. I hate that's the one thing that we're just hanging on to tooth and nail. And God forbid we do anything interesting with Star Wars ever. No, let's just do some cookie cutter BS that's just going to make me hate my life. I will watch it and, of course, acclaim it being the best thing ever done by Star Wars at the time. So I can't wait.
I unlike Zenger, I'm going to wait till the show inevitably manifests as terrible before I start dogging on it. But I don't know, the trailer's visually kind of fun, but the little bits of voiceover we get are
the trailer's Vaseline on toast, man. What are you talking about?
Well, I just love the sort of episode 1 state of the galaxy. There's just ho hum politics going on, proto Valorum's in there.
Oh man, if you read the High Republic, you'd know that there was stuff going on during this time. The
real question is, does Claudia Gray approve of this incarnation of the High Republic, or will she boycott this as well? That's the real question.
I love how that's becoming Chris's thing he keeps. That's a weird hill he'll die on, is just Claudia Gray's passive boycotting of random Star Wars projects. That I can't lie, that is genuinely amusing that Chris is so she was a big deal back in the mid 2010s to late 2010s for Star Wars authors. She's kind of fallen off now, I think, regardless of her passive resistance to contemporary Lucasfilm politics.
I wish I could remember the name of that game that got a trailer and then no announcements since 2 years after the trailer. But that was High Republic era. That had an awesome cinematic trailer. That's the one she was going to boycott. But
Eclipse?
Is that what it was called? Maybe
I've lost track. Too many things have been canceled.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the Eclipse trailer. Yeah. That was yeah.
That had more teeth than this does.
That doesn't mean much.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a better trailer than the Acolyte trailer, for sure. But that's like, that goes without saying. And also, you know, the Eclipse would have been half decent because it's probably canceled.
Yay!
That tracks, right?
Yes.
All right. I again, I don't want to get too excited for this because I've been burned too many times by Star Wars to get too excited. I am cautiously optimistic. It does, much like Chris, give me that like again, prequel vibe. Everything seems a little bit more together. It's not exactly that original trilogy, like, oh God, dilapidated chic that everybody seems to love so much. Seeing a bunch of lightsabers like attacking something gives me Battle of Geonosis vibes, and I dig the hell out of it. That's all. Like, I'm a simple man with simple pleasures. I'm tired of space cowboys collecting bounties. Like, enough. We've had how many seasons of this? Give me more spirituality, hocus pocus, laser sword wielding space wizards at the height of their power.
Yeah. Why don't you just go watch this thing? I don't know. Visions had plenty of that.
That's not canon.
Oh no, it has to be canon for me to like it.
Has to at least attempt to be canon when it was introduced. It has to be canonized. It can always be taken away from it like other Star Wars projects.
Fine. If that's the case, I canonize Visions.
Zenger actually did the sign at the motion to like bless something. He actually did this. I'm like, oh no, Zenger. Star Wars deacon.
I guess the thing I'm most interested in to see what they do here is like, obviously that meme's going around of like Ki-Adi-Mundi saying that the Sith have been extinct for a millennia. And it's like,
he measures time differently.
Sure. You know, like, I mean, it's, you know, people are memeing on that, but you know, as he's saying it, Palpatine's already like a senator and like has an apprentice for quite some time as he's making that comment. So he's already wrong from the jump. So, you know, like, let's put things in perspective here. You know, he didn't know what was going on, and Plagueis predates that. So, who is still canon? I guess. Well,
no, he's not.
That's weird, right? Like, is Plagueis?
He is canon. He's Alpi mentions him.
Yes, but he tells a story rather than a book that explicitly states that Plagueis is Palpatine's master. You know what I mean? Like the story that he tells Anakin is canon, but I guess he's not even Palpatine's master canonically, per se.
So would the reveal at the end of this being that the Acolytes actually Plagueis be like too on the nose, or would it just make me throw something?
I think they won't do Plagueis because that would please too many people.
Yeah, like I said, I have despisingly decided to hate the Rule of Two. It destroys so many good stories, so much fun you could have, but no, it's...
But the Rule of Two is like... The Rule of Two is like only the last 300 years of Star Wars canon.
Well, okay, is it the Rule of Two is in there's only two Sith in the universe, or there can only be two in a group?
No, it's just that they, like, they're the most powerful ones only want there to be two, but they can't stop more from popping up. They just want to kill them.
That's the thing. I'm like, tell me that story. Show me that.
Wasn't that called like Clone Wars with Maul and Savage Opress? Wasn't that the whole point? Like
right, they did it and did it well.
And Ventress is like, Dooku has to kill Ventress. Like, doesn't that happen a couple times during the Clone Wars?
Palpatine tells him to kill her.
Why do the things we keep canon from video games nobody cared about when they came out is stuff that annoys me?
What are you talking about? What's from a video game that
wasn't the Darth Bane thing of the World 2? Wasn't that from?
It's in Clone Wars.
Oh, I thought it was in one of the video games too.
It wouldn't be canon if it was just in a video game. Yoda talks to Darth Bane, who is Mark Hamill, and he's like, "You know who I am?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're Darth Bane. You invented the Rule of Two." That's what he says in the Clone Wars episode.
Oh, my bad.
It's in season 6.
I wish that were an over-exaggeration or oversimplification of what the dialogue is, but it's not. It's pretty straightforward like that, too.
Well, it's not like we've retconned everything else. Why don't we retcon that? Make an interesting story where it's Sith versus Sith at certain points or stuff like that. Something interesting. God forbid.
I mean, that's Yoda on his like vision quest where he goes to Korriban, and for some reason it's not called Korriban.
It's Moraband.
It's called like Moraband or something. It's like, okay, cool, guys. We've only had it for 20 years and it's almost the same name. Like, what's the point of that?
That was Jorge. Jorge didn't like the name Korriban.
Even though it was already around forever and it's the exact same design.
That was a Jorge decision. I remember getting mad about that in 2013 and researching it and being
Really?
like, nope, that's a Jorge decision. Yep.
Well,
You know
he probably
what?
the thing. He probably just learned about it. Like he probably didn't even know under how many games it was in and all that.
You know what,
You know?
Zach? I'm giving you some credit real quick.
Mhm.
I do see the genre here on Wikipedia for Acolyte, and it says crime drama as well as mystery thriller, which leads me into a blind rage because, as we know, if I look up episode 2, I'm pretty sure that's the description for those two, and we all know how Star Wars did so well.
Attack of the
with that
Clones
last time.
subgenre is crime drama.
War
Man.
crimes.
Woo.
And what do you think about these? Like, I think the word witches shows up in this trailer again.
Boo!
These are some lame looking Night Sisters. They just look like regular people. I want like zombie looking, black eyes, like crazy people. And these guys are just like, yeah, we're like witches. We're cool.
Is that who red haired lady supposed to be a witch?
Yeah, sure. Let's go
I
with
don't
that.
think I don't know if the red haired lady is, but there's this shot of there's like 5 other women. Because there's one man in the whole trailer, and it somehow says they're witches like over top of the shot that's looking at them. So I'm pretty sure that's in there, but they don't look like Night Sisters. So now we have like some less offensive version of a witch.
It's really not giving the genres for Star Wars Attack of the Clones. I want to see the genres. Just
Space
so
fantasy.
No, but I want to see it listed so I can be angry. You know what?
I'm not gonna
I'll just
give you
edit
that.
Wikipedia.
Zenger's like, if I can't have the answer I want, I will make the answer I want. The thing I find again, there's not enough to go on this trailer. And like everything else, it depends on how much money they pour into this. For like High Republic era, I'm not getting the over ornate vibes of the Jedi that I've been led to believe over the last, 4 years since this novel series has been out. Like it doesn't seem as like it feels Star Wars, but it doesn't feel like that super clean Star Wars that they've made such a big point that the High Republic is.
But this
They've
is like
gone through
quite
some
a bit.
stuff.
This is like a lot closer to episode 1 than most of those books, right? Like by like
But this
100
feels
years
more
or
like
so.
this feels like this could be the Force Awakens more than like I don't know. Maybe it's because like I get a strong Octo vibe from like the water planets and things like that, and then like a lightsaber spinning in the jungle. I don't know. Like again, there's definitely like an Attack of the Clone. Like the vibe of Attack of the Clones is there, but just how it's shot feels more like Force Awakens-y.
Yeah, like digital noise reduction.
Yes, the DNR is strong with contemporary Disney. Chris, I have to ask: have you picked up any of the the Blu-ray copies of The Abyss, True Lies, and Aliens?
The screenshots have scared me away, man. I don't
Really?
care. They look like the screenshots I saw of True Lies looked terrible, and I can't comprehend how Jimmy C thinks that's okay. He must be like somehow too busy making blue giant people or something to really pay attention to this. Even though the story I heard for the longest time was that he wanted to personally oversee the construction of this battle station. You know what I mean? He wanted to do those Blu-rays himself, but like they look whack, dude. Like that noise reduction it's just like AI upscaling. It looks really weird. Why does it look like that?
No, like I've been following that controversy a little bit, and I was just curious is all. Just Jimmy C being our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as Aliens is concerned, the quadrilogy Blu-ray set is the definitive box set of the series and has 2 cuts of every film and the best bonus features. And really,
There's 2 cuts of Resurrection?
okay, all of the other 3 there is 2 cuts. But yeah, it's like no one's ever done
Somebody
it. There's
watched
deleted-
Resurrection a second time to make an alternate cut of it?
There's
It's the only
deleted
movie that's only
scenes.
ever been watched once by everybody in existence.
Not so for me, unfortunately or unfortunately. But I mean, like you're talking to a guy who I can remember what the deleted scenes from Alien Resurrection are. Okay, so like this is that series is good, but the point is, I don't know if it was a new piece of commentary or not, but I heard a Jimmy C audio commentary over a scene from Aliens where he's talking about the grain structure being like, because of the film stock he had to use, like Aliens is really grainy and he doesn't like it looking back, and he would have shot it at like 2:3:5 aspect ratio to match the original film if he had to do it again. And it's like, I think maybe he's just so obsessed with noise reduction that like he jumped the shark and like made those movies look weird. I don't know, but you know, Aliens does not look bad on Blu-ray. You know, like.
I have a question.
Yeah,
you said there was an Alien. What you had?
There's the Blu-ray set is called Alien Quadrilogy,
which is not a word actually.
Why would you need that? You just need to own Aliens, and then you're good. You don't need anything else.
Are you excluding the first film, Zenger?
Yes, because the second film's a better film.
No, it's not. It's speaking of genres, it's a completely separate genre from the first film.
Yeah, it's a better one.
No, that's an action thriller, not a like horror thriller.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like we don't need to relitigate it. You can see the Knights of Vader episode entitled Alien 3.
I'm sure you can hear it, but...
Yeah.
It's best that you just view it. Like just look at this. Look at like the landing page for it. Don't listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rob's on that one. That's a good one.
Is.
Yeah.
I don't remember recording that.
You might have watched it. I don't remember.
No, I think you were saved or.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm on it. I'm just probably trying to blank it from my memory. Oh, I know I had to watch Alien 3. That's the one where they're on that prison planet that was supposed to be a planet made of wood or something.
Yes.
See, I was on it.
Look at that. He knows it was supposed to be a planet made of wood.
Oh my God. That's for like the disengage. That's like a deep cut.
for a
nerd, that's common knowledge. Like it's just
everyone knows that they hate Alien 3 and that it was supposed to be a planet made of wood.
I mean, for a deep cut, I mean that's to the bone. Like there's marrow on that knife.
Yeah. Well, isn't the Alien Romulus trailer like kind of sad because it's just like so generic.
I haven't seen
it's
it.
Like run around the spaceship and run from the facehuggers, run from the alien. It looks like the exact same set from Alien, only we have dynamic camera movement now because it's 2024. Like there's no, it's just like it's like the trailer is just like it does what it says on the tin, guys. It's got aliens and on a spaceship. That's what y'all want, right? That's what y'all complain about every time we don't do it that way. And it's like...
Well, wait a second. Are you saying that the Acolyte trailer gave us the same thing? Because that's what it gave us. It's Star Wars. We saw lightsabers, people talking, darkness. Ooh.
I saw a red lightsaber at one point, and I pointed.
Yes.
Yeah, like I have a feeling Alien Romulus will be the superior product of the two products.
Oh,
but
no.
The trailer
is... no.
The trailer is equally underwhelming and not narratively driven in any way. It's just like run around the spaceship from the facehuggers. Look at our luscious interior design for spaceship hallways.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do when the movie's not aliens and you don't have space marines coming in and space marining it up.
Can you imagine how this whole episode would be about it if Alien Romulus took place on a wooden planet? That's all
it would be. It'd be all we talked about for the rest of this podcast. It'd be, yes, we happened in Star Wars. Anyways, remember when they made that wood planet? By the way, to clarify, it's not a planet like Kashyyyk where there's woods or
it's like a it's like a Death Star made of wood.
Made of wood.
yeah. It's like a Death Star made of wood where it's like this has normal concentric rings for levels, not like a building that's also in the shape of a sphere. But yeah, it's crazy.
It would be the only thing anyone would talk about.
Yeah, amazing they don't like, you know, like you could just break the internet with something like that because there'd be all the YouTubers being like, do you know why the planet's made of wood in this Alien trailer? But
no, and don't explain it. Never explain it. Just point out that it is and go on from there.
And I think it's relatively new information that it takes place between Alien and Aliens. And it's like, could you guys just settle down and not do stuff like that? That'd be great.
Yeah, why don't we put it before? Like, have it be within the Prometheus timeline or something.
I think until like 2 weeks ago, it was before Alien, and now it's between the two movies, which is like...
How does that work? So what? It's LV426 nonsense?
There's no information, but somebody said it's between the two movies now.
We can only hope at the end of the movie, Michael Fassbender shows up. We can only hope for that, right? That's like Ridley Scott's note as a producer. It's just one line, Michael Fassbender, and like, I die from happiness.
Yeah, like he's impersonating like whatever descendant of Wayland now, and he's just running the company. That's how we skip ahead from Ridley Scott not getting his third sequel. You know, like David just ran the company for like 100 years into past Aliens. Yeah.
I like to imagine that's Ridley Scott. Because Chris, you imagine you've heard the stories about like Ridley Scott and like Gladiator 2 cost like $300 million. It went over like $120 million in production budget. I like to imagine like he's doing this as some sort of passive revenge toward Disney, but because he's so senile, no one's told him that Disney's not the one financing Gladiator 2. So he's intentionally just, I'm going to show the mouse who's boss. But Mr. Scott, this isn't Disney. I'll show Mickey.
I mean, imagine, I'm sure he's like, the way his commentaries are, he's probably said something amazing. He's probably made like an amazing summary of the fact that like Disney now owns Alien. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, what has he said candidly about that simple fact? That it's probably so amusing.
Does he even know? That's the real question. Like he was senile 10 years ago when people were asking him questions during Prometheus.
What? How? I mean, if you're saying Ridley Scott not knowing about the deep canonical lore of Alien makes him senile, I don't know if I agree. But like, you know, he's thinking up here. That's novels.
No. He was when he was doing. Oh God, what's the movie he did with Moses? Like it's like I want to say Gods of Egypt, which is pretty
great movie.
Whatever it's called, it's not Gods of Egypt, but it's Gods of Egypt, Christian Bale's Moses. And he was going around during the press tour for that, telling people like, I want to make a movie on the Bible, but what if Moses was a psychopath? And it's like, what? It's like, he didn't do this in the 80s and 90s. He didn't talk this way. And now like all of a sudden he does.
It's a great movie. He can't be senile if he made that movie, dude.
I don't know. I feel like it's like, not to make this like contemporary politics, but it feels like a Joe Biden situation where it's like, I don't doubt that his name's on this and he has some faculties, but he ain't the one making the final decisions on the final cut.
Dude, he's directing actors and stuff like that. Like, you know,
is he though?
I think he is.
You sure not just like they lock him in a trailer and it's like, why did I say Sir Ridley? Is he knighted?
No.
We can hope he's in his mind. He's knighted, Zenger.
Wait. Did you mean Kingdom of Heaven?
No, that's something else. That's kind of still a good movie. It came out like in 2015, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about.
It's not. It's basically.
I'll get to it. All the Money in the World.
Well, that's another one. Like, we'll get into. You want to get into the politics of a movie, like reshooting an entire movie because of Kevin Spacey.
I don't think he does a bad job, you know? So it's like, until I'm not going to call him senile until he starts like doing movies that are just absolutely forgettable, which hasn't happened
Chris,
yet.
The Martian.
Well, The Martian, yeah, Martian's good.
Phenomenal. I sat there and
I think that's the last good movie he made.
I sat there and had a moment where I was like, oh wait, this is a movie. This is a movie. This isn't like a true story. God dang, this is too good. But also the book's phenomenal. So I mean, what can you do?
Chris, we went over that during the Alien Cube discussion, right? Like Alien rankings.
I mean, yeah, Alien vs. Predator, Requiem, Alien.
No,
Alien
I don't
3,
I rank Requiem high, but it's not that high.
Okay,
my Alien ranking is Alien, then Covenant, then Requiem, Aliens,
blasphemy,
Resurrection, and then after that, it kind of doesn't matter because like Alien Cubed is in the movie. And the first Alien vs. Predator is like garbage. It's like the CW version of like these franchises.
If you rank Covenant that high, you're basically the biggest Ridley Scott fan of all time.
I love Covenant. I love Covenant so much because it's just pure nonsense. I feel like that was the appetizer for how my Star Wars like opinion would eventually flourish.
That's the only one I've only seen once.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Covenant so much. It's such a like a low key bonkers movie.
Wait a second. I don't think I've seen this one. Oh yeah, this one has Danny McBride in it, and
yeah, Danny McBride, and that was like before Danny McBride started doing Alien movies, or not Alien, Halloween movies. It was like what the one with Danny McBride in it, and then it's like, oh wait, Danny McBride's writing and producing a Halloween movie, and it's like, what is happening right now?
Isn't what's his name in it too? That one guy that's been canceled.
That's half of Hollywood at this point. You have to be more specific.
James Franco. There we go.
Oh yeah, briefly.
That was that weird thing where they like had a ton of other stuff going on that was canon to the movie, but was not in the movie, but was part of the movie and was essential to the story.
Yeah.
Anyways, the thing you're thinking is Exodus, Gods and Kings.
There you go.
Bingo.
Gods of Egypt. That's what he said. Yeah.
It's
Gods of
apparently,
Egypt.
it's apparently based on a book, by the way.
Yes, the Bible. So Ridley's like, I'm making a movie about the Bible. Zenger, please read the description of that. Read the synopsis for Exodus, Gods of Egypt.
Oh, and there's some great Ridley Scott interviews, because you forget what year is that, Zenger? You got it in front of you?
14.
Shows you what a different world it was. Like, if you find some contemporary Ridley Scott interviews from back then, he's like, sure, I could have cast people who actually looked like the ethnicities they would have been in that part of the world at the time, but I want people to go see the movie. Like, public interview from Ridley Scott back in the day. Like, if 2014 was ancient times, man.
Apparently. In 1300 BC, Moses, a general and accepted member of the Egyptian royal family, prepares to attack an encamped Hittite army with the Prince Ramses at... I am not even going to try to pronounce that.
Zinger's like watching. He's like, this seems real familiar. I feel like I've seen this before. What's going on?
I've seen this animated better.
It's not better.
Are you saying Prince of Egypt is not a good movie?
I'm saying this Christian Bale Moses is like real funny and good. Like, God is like an angry little kid. It's awesome.
I don't think I've seen this.
I don't think you can forget it if you've seen it. Like staring into the sun burns your corneas.
And also Uncle Owen is the Pharaoh. Like, it's great.
Whoa. Well,
yeah, exactly.
No, see,
That's
I have another.
I forget his real name. Uncle Owen.
Well, there's the Moses movie. That's what I thought you were talking about at first. I was like, oh man, that was Ridley Scott. Man, he should have been stopped from doing movies. But no, I forgot that's actually Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see Gladiator 2 to really determine if Ridley Scott must be stopped or not.
Chris, have you heard the story that like an original, because again, Gladiator being this huge success from 20 years ago, there was obviously all these ideas about like kicking around for a sequel. And one of the like drafts was like, they bring the Russell Crowe character back to life, the Romans, in order to kill Jesus. Like that was like one of the pitches for Gladiator 2 that was floating around Hollywood for some time. Was they were
who
I don't know,
had the audacity to say such a bold and perfect movie.
Every once in a while you'll see like one of those like Twitter accounts that's like, oh god, like buried Hollywood ideas, and you'll see somebody like retweet it. And I think a couple of days ago I saw someone do that, and like the quote tweet was, "You cowards."
Yeah, that's like Passion of the Christ 2. That was on the table
Electric
for a while.
Boogaloo.
Yeah.
No, isn't he making that still?
Sure.
Isn't that what Mel Gibson's been doing for the last 20 years? They don't have him locked in the closet
What
somewhere.
can you possibly base that off of?
I'm pretty sure the Passion 2 is a thing. Wait, okay. This is the weirdest Star Wars podcast ever.
The Acolyte.
Does anybody want to try to slightly bring this back to Star Wars, or we just gonna go down the rabbit's hole?
No,
of religious
I've got
movies.
I speaking of religious movies, like, so what I did yesterday or 2 days ago, I watched Dune at home for the first time, and then the next day I went to see Dune 2 in theaters, which is like, I highly recommend not watching a movie for like 4 years so you don't have to wait for the sequel to come out. It was a really great experience because the ending of the first Dune movie is so anticlimactic. It's like a PG-13 knife fight, and then it's over. And then I didn't have to wait 4 years to watch the second one, which was awesome.
You're part of the problem of our culture that wants instant gratification with that.
I want to protest the movie. They cut the greatest character in the movie out.
Space Navigator?
No.
The giant like glob that can like move through space and time?
No, the character that's in the book, but they cut out of the movie because they wanted to accelerate the timeline.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, I haven't read the books.
Oh my god.
I'm part of the problem.
Neither is Zenger. He's listened to them.
The Spice Baby.
There's a Spice Baby?
Why can't I remember her freaking name? Muad'Dib's sister, who's like...
Who's not born yet.
But she's born in the books, and she like is like psychotic in that. She like jumps around and tries to kill people.
You mean in the books he doesn't take over the whole planet over like 2 weeks? It takes him years.
It takes a while.
Okay.
But she's like born cognizant of like everything because she's been done in with spice and all this stuff.
You mean his sister, right?
Yes. Why am I not remembering her name?
I mean, I don't know if they even said her name in the movie, but
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the one scene, the one shot that she's in.
In the future. But that's her in the future. We need her now as a baby running around with blue eyes, yelling at people with the voice.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, there wasn't many trailers, but they had Furiosa, and then I see her in the movie, and I'm like, can you guys hire, like, more than 3 actors? Like, what's going on? Like,
When I saw Dune 2 in theaters, I did not get to see the Furiosa trailer, and I am very disappointed.
Well, I waited quite a while. It's been out a couple weeks.
Well, you don't get to see Chris Hemsworth be crazy.
I might go see Dune 2 again in the theater just for that.
Alita. Sorry, I was
Alita
thinking
Battle
of that.
Angel?
Yes, I was thinking of that, but Aaliyah Atreides. That's her. Yeah, she's like this like crazy kid that runs around and kills people. And yells at people with the voice.
Yeah.
Why do I look crazy right now?
The voice really took me out of it. I gotta tell you, this whole dude.
It's just the Force. Oh yeah, it took me out of it because Space Wizards.
Space Lady was Wizards, Chris. Zenger, damn it.
I can only handle one Space Wizard franchise at a time. Yeah. Actually, I guess I'm not paying that much attention to the other one right now, so it's all right. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty good though. Not mad at Dune 2. Tell you that. It's pretty good.
Next, you're going to tell me that the Emperor was played by some lunatically old guy that like can't talk right.
So, like in the theater I was in, people laughed every time Christopher Walken appeared on screen. Out loud, people were laughing every time. Even there was even a shot of him, and he's like, he just said stuff in his like stereotypical cadence. Like everybody is like, people were laughing loud in the theater every time he showed up.
Perfect.
That was interesting.
Best movie ever.
I can't disagree with that. Making Christopher Walken the Emperor of the Universe is like, okay, sold. Like, where do I swipe my credit card to help the Avengers defeat Thanos? Like, it's just that level of like brilliance where I'm like, all right, like you did it. Like, I'm not excited for this thing, but here we go. I'm online waiting for it. I spent $25 on a popcorn bucket. If they would have done a Christopher Walken popcorn bucket, woo, they would have sold out even faster that weekend.
I'm going up to get some drinks, and they have the stupid Slimer bucket there, but no Dune buckets, you know.
So wait, that somehow made it into Canada, but the Dune popcorn bucket didn't?
What I'm guessing, maybe it did and I missed it, but I looked it up and it said AMC, so I didn't even think I had a chance. But when I saw Slimer, it had Cineplex printed on the front, but so maybe they print a different cinema chain logo on the front of the Slimer.
Oh, maybe.
Because it's AMC there, I guess. You guys don't have Cineplex, right? That's not a thing, is it?
No.
We have Cinemax.
Yeah.
That's a TV channel, but close enough.
Yeah. So apparently, maybe I could have got it, but I slipped. Yeah.
Okay, so since this is vaguely going back towards Star Wars, I'm going to wrangle it straight into Star Wars. Other things I'm angry about. I was about to say, I see both of you going in, putting your mics down and walking off. Perfect.
I'm not going anywhere. It's good.
So so there's an interesting concept that is brought up in the High Republic called Wayseekers. Why can't we get a show with those? Something actually interesting. By the way, Wayseekers
because I was just gonna say because it's stolen from Dune and they don't want to do it at the same time. There's a Dune movie.
What, just people that follow the Force instead of the Jedi Council and that are Force sensitive? Wow, that seems interesting and something I'd actually appreciate instead of the same cut and dry bullshit.
I didn't understand why
Chris,
it was.
It right there.
I forgot.
35-20.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But no, but in at the beginning of the first Dune movie, they sort of say that the spice is required for interstellar travel, but they don't really elaborate it on it beyond that. So like I guess they're sort of like the Chiss who like find new hyperspace routes
by using the Force.
Yeah.
That's what the Chiss do. They use this thing called Skywalkers. Get it? Get it?
Lowercase s.
Yes.
Maybe not. Maybe capital S, but not proper noun.
Yeah.
But no, it's describing oh wait, it is a person, so
Zenger, are you following the Thrawn Alliance's comic adaptation? Are you following that at all? Wow, that was like Zenger, it's your namesake.
I
don't know, man. Like
I follow the good stuff.
I thought you liked Thrawn Alliances.
I like it where he's working for the Empire.
That's Thrawn Alliances.
Oh, well, I guess I should.
I'm not talking.
Chris, edit.
30. I want you to bleep out every time I do a time code. And that out as well. I'm like Zenger's weird sort of profanity hype man. No.
I attempt to keep my fingers far away from the pulse on Star Wars sometimes as I can. And anything Thrawn related, I'm like, well, they can't ruin it anymore. And hold on.
Has there been like a better, Zach, you would know, has there been a better update on the other Star Wars movies playing for like one day in theaters? Is that still a thing?
Oh yeah, that. Okay, yes, because I want it known that I might or might not have said this on the podcast. I don't know. I'm going back to Florida to get close to the theater that I saw the Phantom Menace in back in the first time in June of 1999. Unfortunately, it's not a Regal theater anymore. It's like an NCG, which is kind of like a smaller theater chain. So I'm going to one that I definitely saw the Phantom Menace in, but not like the inaugural, like life-altering experience theater. But when I heard that they were doing like a 9-film marathon, I'm like, this is great. I can finally see The Rise of Skywalker in a theater again. And then like I realized the 9-film marathon is like only in like a dozen theaters across like North America. And the moment like tickets went up for sale, I think it's like there's one in New York City, there's one in New England, and that's like the extent of the Northeast. Like they sold out immediately. But I also realized too is that I could buy a ticket for like the nosebleeds or like up front. And like, come on, by the 22-hour mark when Rise of Skywalker begins, there's going to be nobody like conscious in that theater. If there's even a single live person in that theater. But yeah, so it looks like it's a 9-film marathon, not the weird sort of like episodes 1 through 3 one day and then 4 through 6 the following day. That didn't seem to pan out the way that like the rumors were alleging.
I mean, that's pretty great because if I would buy, if that were available to me, I would leave after episode 3 because that's the stuff I want to see in the theaters again. Because the original trilogy comes back around next pandemic, there'll be another original trilogy in theaters. Don't worry about it. You'll have another chance to see that. But yeah, man, episode 2 and 3, they're not going to be, I think that's going to be a rare experience seeing episode 2 and 3 in theaters.
They're going to do it 3 years from now. There's no way they don't do another, like they're doing with all this, whether it be Return of the Jedi. Remember they did Empire during the pandemic. And I think that was always planned. I don't think that was like a just dump it in theaters sort of thing.
Yeah, that had the same sort of marketing as Return of the Jedi did. They didn't do it for A New Hope, though.
Well, I don't think they were too busy on the sequel trilogy. That wasn't the priority. Like, come on, man. If we had new movies coming up on a consistent basis, we would not be getting like Phantom Menace re-release.
Yeah, that's true. So it's a pretty good thing that we don't have them.
That's what I mean. So like 3 years from now, I look because oh god. Because what, 3 years from now, we'll be getting the Attack of the Clones re-release.
I doubt it.
Which means that in December of 2026, we'll get the Mandalorian and Grogu Guardian Galaxy Mission Breakout.
I don't know if they believe in it to do that for like the same like sort of a marketing push. I really think that culturally episode 1 is viewed like twice as good as episode 2.
Yeah, but
like as with the normies.
I think they're using, to be fair, I think the only reason why you're getting the Phantom Menace in theaters is they're probably using it as like a marketing like tool for the Acolyte. It's the same reason why Andor was re-released. Rogue One was released before Andor.
Well, it does need all the help it can get. You know, if you unlock the thumbs down, man, the ratio is pretty ugly on that Acolyte trailer. People do not like it for some reason or another. Fascinating.
But it's getting a bunch of views, so like, I don't know, man. It's like every other, like to me, like
8 views.
But that's the thing, though. Like the Acolyte trailer, so like it's like what Zenger, what you call it, Vaseline on like Melba toast.
It's Vaseline on toast.
Yeah, like something has to at least have like a position to get angry about it. It's like It's inoffensive.
You have to have substance.
I wouldn't say that. Okay, let's okay, we don't know that too. Like, okay, Zenger's not entirely wrong. But that's what I mean about the Acolyte is that like it doesn't even do the Whammon thing that like the YouTube hate mongers love. Like there's nothing, it's not doing what the Marvels did in its marketing. It's not doing that where it's just like there's people in it. You got goddamn Carrie-Anne Moss.
Edit.
Like, come on. Like it's like, come on.
Chris, edit.
Oh, that's
Whatever
fine. You can say
he's allowed to take the Lord's name in vain.
I
We were just making fun of Moses like 15 minutes ago. It's fine.
I'm saying when I say God damn it, I'm talking about the child that yells at Moses. That's
Yeah.
the version of God I'm talking
Ridley
to in this
Scott.
moment.
Ridley
Scott
Oh
God.
God. Yeah.
But that's what I mean though. Like the Acolyte, like again, until we see more of it, there's a Wookiee Jedi. How much more do you people want?
It's not that one though.
It's not Gunji.
It's not. I'm so happy for it.
I mean, I want the Wookiee Jedi from the Young Jedi Knight novels by Kevin J.
Nope.
Anderson, but whatever.
I can only hope there's Nubs is in this from the Young Jedi Adventures. I want Nubs.
Isn't that an Ewok?
He's not an Ewok. He's blue. There's no blue Ewoks.
So speaking of things in this that nobody wants, so who's excited for Yoda to be in this?
Yeah, it's definitely happening. Like that's a
Ugh.
thing to play.
God.
Use sparingly. Like he's gonna be like Vader level. They're gonna use him very sparingly.
Ugh.
So, like, does Yoda, because of the time period, go back to, like, CGI prequel Yoda, even though he was most recently seen as a puppet in Episode 8?
Chris, why do you ask the hard-hitting questions?
Somebody tweet that to Pablo Hidalgo and be like, what does the story group do in this instance? Puppets reign supreme, but puppets are considered jarring at this time point in
Dude,
Star
could you
Wars.
imagine? Could you imagine if it's CGI, but they make him look like puppet Episode 1 Yoda? Like, because he's, like, young. Youthful
monster.
puppet Episode 1 Yoda. Yeah.
Oh, also, don't forget they have the lightsaber whips, too.
Oh, yeah, yep.
That's been around forever. That's, like, Clone Wars.
Yeah, but we're going to get to see it in live action.
Yeah. Instead, it used to be that people would be like, lightsabers don't make sense because what's stopping the blade from just extending forever? Lightsaber whip is the ultimate, like, screw you guys for even asking that question. It makes even less sense. Yeah.
I love it.
Chaos.
I'm on board. Like I said, I would love something towards like Jedis, but not just Force users. I would love to see Force users that aren't like
Ahsoka. Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep
that aren't
talking.
confined by the stupidity of the Jedi Council. But we got
Ahsoka.
that with we got that.
Yeah,
I
it
was
had
happy.
Thrawn in it, so you have no right to complain. Sit down. Sit down. Shut up.
Why did I not worship it more?
Why do you not like it? Yeah, it's very fascinating question.
Oh, I never said I didn't like it.
Well,
You show me audio of that. Cut it in right here, Chris.
I recall you being just like
Blind indifference?
yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah. And then,
Retroactive
yeah.
blind difference. We were all excited in the moment. I want known, like,
Yeah.
if everybody wants a good laugh, go back and listen to our Kenobi series where we're like prognosticating on all these things that are going to happen in the final episode, and then nothing happened. So it took us like 2 months to get an episode out about it, and I wasn't even part of it. And Chris is like, everybody can guess what Zach's thoughts are by the fact that he did not want to be a part of this. And it was just like, it's like you listen to our episode, our whatever, chapter 5 discussion, and we have all these things like, well, like we get so hung up on like, oh, there has to be a moment where Vader like doesn't like dance on top of his cloak, and he's just like, damn it, like if only I would have done this. And then like you go back and you watch episode 6 and like, oh wait, they do nothing. Like nothing happens in episode 6. It's just nonsense other than like a couple brief moments.
Kenobi's definitely going to employ a rare Force ability where he shrinks down to the size of a mouse and
He goes full Ant-Man.
and hides in his cloak. And Vader's going to be like, damn it, I should have stomped out the cloak.
Instead, nothing happened.
Which is basically the implication of what Vader does in A New Hope. So just think about that for a while. Like he's like, I must need to do this for some reason.
Who wants like, oh God, who wants to go ask Lucas? Like, this show, like, it'd be a great like version of like meet, like Lucas does like I don't know, Disney does something like, I don't know, fundraiser for the weird like shareholder issue they're having with Peltz. And wouldn't it be great? Like Lucas sits down with like a group of Star Wars fans and does like a live commentary. And one of the questions is, so why didn't you take this scene out? Like that's like one of the, and I'm not just talking about him stomping on the cloak. I just mean other things like, why was this okay?
The question is, why does he stomp on the cloak?
Because he didn't do it with his fight with Obi-Wan on the rock planet.
But like, what's he checking out? Like, it's clearly flat on the ground. Like, he's not in there.
Vader didn't know that, obviously.
It's for the audience, duh.
Someone needs to do a fan edit. Take like, what's it, instead of like scene 1138 that somebody did, someone needs to do like scene 1139 and take the audio of him like during the trench run and being like, what? But it's him stepping on the cape and doing that exact moment.
What?
He steps on it. What?
Yeah.
So we've just resigned it to that's a voice box that he has for that. The one's
He's
like a
Buzz
button.
Vader's a Buzz Lightyear toy. He has 3 buttons with 3 catchphrases.
Yeah, it's actually automated. Anytime something shocking happens, he just automatically does it.
Speaking of like Jimmy C movies from earlier, it's like that scene from True Lies where he has the tape recorder while like Jamie Lee Curtis is like doing the sensual dance. He only has 3 different things he has to rewind and forward to the exact cue.
Dude, I watched that recently and it's like, it's so funny. It's like he's just like barely putting his hand in front of his face. Like it's so clearly her husband, like he's sitting right in front of her. Like, Jimmy C, you needed like a spotlight or something back there to actually make it plausible that she couldn't see him. Weird.
Yeah, man.
Who is this larger than life Austrian man that is sitting in front of me as an arms dealer? Who on earth could this possibly be?
Yeah, exactly.
Your shadow, mysterious stranger, cloaks your identity.
He's got like his hand in front of his mouth, basically, and then a tape cassette player. I don't know. Great movie. What can you do? The underused versatility of Jimmy C as a comedy director.
Jimmy Lee Curtis couldn't tell because of all the DNR that it wasn't him. Where's your grain, Arnie? Where's all of your creases in your face? It's so smooth.
Yeah, I watched it on Crave, so it's like not the new DNR version. So it looked pretty good.
I have not done. I've watched Aliens, the 4K of that. I've not watched the True Lies 4K yet.
I don't care.
I haven't looked at a good side by side.
Zenger's like, who's James Cameron?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen a Gladiator.
You mean Gods of Egypt?
Yeah, that too.
Oh my god.
God, I really just cannot believe they did a live action Prince of Persia.
What? Where did that come from?
Sorry, live action Prince of Egypt. There we go.
Okay, about to say, like, you Mr. Video Game person over there, like he's going through like Disney's filmography from the early 2010s. There's a John Carter too?
Sorry, I had a mini stroke there.
Speaking of Attack of the Clones iconography.
They had the audacity to try and bring a Princess of Mars to the big screen, and everyone made a collective meh.
They had Pixar director. That was that was supposed to be Pixar's first live action film. Then they started looking to dailies, and John Lasseter was like, "No." It was like, imagine the Titanic and the iceberg and steering very deliberately away from it. It's like, nope, Disney's gonna take the hit for this, not Pixar. But it was gonna be Pixar's first live action film, and like,
Wait, what was?
John Carter.
Really? Oh. Ugh.
And they changed the title to John. They changed it from John Carter of Mars to John Carter because Mars Needs Moms bombed. And they're like, whoa. The only reason why this movie bombed, it's not the jarring, horrific CGI. It's that people don't like Mars. The tracking on the planet Mars was bad. If you actually go back even on YouTube and look at the John Carter teaser trailer from the summer of 2011, it still says JCM. Like the emblem says JCM, but like the title says John Carter. Like, no, that was their takeaway from Mars Needs Moms,
Wow.
like losing like $200 million was people don't like the planet.
It's not, well, it's just word association that they feared because they know people are silly and have, you remember how Zenger was just confused about Prince of Persia and Gods of Egypt a second ago?
Yep.
That's the sort of thing they're worried about, Zach.
Zenger's like, I will definitely go to Egypt, but not Persia though. Like, I don't want to risk that.
Speaking of weird casting decisions.
So Chris, how many vintage collection Acolyte figures did you pre-order?
Okay, we're just leaving that alone. Good.
You remember that time that when the trailer dropped, we literally got all the characters, which they've not done for any of their other shows, which have known characters in them. How weird.
I'm excited. I can't wait. The problem is that none of these toys are supposed to come out until like October.
Yeah, but they're all just like generic Jedis though. Like, there's not like a cool, like who was that like nobody Inquisitor from Ahsoka? Like there's no cool designs. They're just all like regular people.
We have to wait for our Balin Skull character.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Dust Inquisitor, Knight Armor guy.
Maroke.
Yeah, there's nobody like that who's actually like looks awesome. They're all just Jedi robes. So it's like whatever. Maybe I would like them if I knew who they were.
Carrie-Anne Moss, you got Trinity Jedi.
Vintage collection or just Black Series? I didn't look.
As of now, just Black Series.
Boo.
Oh God, there's too many Mars movies.
They're all good.
That's what Zenger took away from the last 15 minutes.
No, because I'm trying to
Types Mars movie into Google.
There's a bunch that don't even have Mars in the name.
Total Recall.
Well, no, because I'm trying. There's the one.
Total Recall 2012. No, they don't go to Mars in that one.
And who could forget Doom with The Rock? That's a Mars movie.
Well, we technically talked about The Martian earlier, but I was talking about the one where there was like, you found out that Mars originally had life, and then it seeded on Earth.
That's Mission to Mars.
Okay, and then there was
Disney
also
movie?
Yes,
with Gary Sinise.
No,
Oh my God. And Tom Sizemore.
there's also Ghost of Mars.
John Carpenter.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, man, there are so many Mars movies,
Yeah, Mars is pretty great.
and I can't remember which one I'm thinking of.
You're thinking of Red Planet with Carrie-Anne Moss.
And then there's also Rocket Man. Oh, there's a deep cut.
We brought it back to Carrie-Anne Moss, guys. Yeah.
I'll take it. So Chris, apparently new HasLab May 4th announcement. What's it going to be?
That's a real tough call because it's like I'm thinking original trilogy just because like what else would get people excited that they haven't done.
Or is it Phantom Menace related?
If they did like an even bigger Chrome Queen starship, I don't think it would fund.
That would be a hard, because that you can still buy that from MSRT from 25 years ago on eBay.
Yeah, $200, sure. That's probably what it cost. I don't know. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like I think it cost 100. No, was it 100, 150 back in the day? You can get that like at toy shows, I know, for that price.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough call, right? I mean, maybe a giant, maybe like, I feel like a giant sand crawler is almost boring, but it would probably fund. I don't know that's a tough call, man.
But what I mean, like, what movie? It would have to, like, right, with all the hype around the Phantom Menace, it would have to be that, right? Because it's not going to be from anything.
They're not going to, but it wouldn't be the Queen Starship. It'd have to be something else.
It's a Lucre Hulk. It's a 1-to-1 Lucre Hulk.
First of all, they're not going to vac metalize something that big anymore in the current year, and like, if they're not going to do that, why bother? So like, maybe they'll bring back that TVC ad and just like do it even better because that hasn't been released for a while.
They'll just do a mulligan.
Yeah, like when's the last time you
puntable.
could buy that gigantic ad? It's been like 10 years at least. You know, they did a BMF.
But they're really going to go back to like Empire Strikes Back where there's no like marketing hype around it.
I mean, that vehicle is in like every Disney Star Wars that takes place during the Galactic Civil War.
Whoa. This might show up in the Acolyte as well. What's the ship called that like is the opening shot to the Phantom Menace? Was it the Republic Attack Cruiser?
You mean like the prequel blockade runner that gets blown up in the hangar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might show up in the that might show up.
Can you imagine trying to explain what that is as a HasLab though? Like here, it's in the first 5 minutes of the Phantom Menace, and it's a physical model. It's not CGI, and it's beautiful. But like,
the nerds would not throw $600 at that.
Yeah, like that shot where like it gets blown up in the hangar, like they actually like blew up a model. Like just dang old don't make them like they used to, tell you what. But like that's just somebody made like a real nice version of that. Maybe it was like for that X-Wing game or something, but I don't see that happening. That'd be huge anyways.
Oh, what if they do a correct? Oh, okay, I figured it out. What if it's a new Naboo starfighter?
That they already put out the new one and it wasn't a HasLab. It's not big enough to be a HasLab.
But if they actually do it, like I don't know, because Naboo starfighters are popular. We haven't gotten one of those in since 2012.
That's not going to be that.
I'm running out of ideas, man.
Yeah, it's not going to be episode
pod
1.
Racers. It's what it could be Sebulba and Anakin's pod racers.
Now we're talking, but then again, even that like scale wise wouldn't be that big. Maybe if you get both.
But they would keep the price down though. Probably what, $200 for both of them.
I haven't looked at, you know what? I never had those. I never looked at if the old ones are like any good.
They break. The problem is they all broke because like if you took them out of the pack, the Anakin one was my favorite thing as a kid. Then like it just broke constantly.
Did they do any of them other than Anakin and Sebulba? Like did they do any of the other guys?
I know. Okay, that you would know before me on that one.
It's really all about the Theed Power Station playset. That's the peak episode 1, 3 3/4 toy. But would a play? Okay, here's the question: like, would a play set really sell if it's not a Death Star? What do you even do for a Death Star HasLab? Like, it would just look crazy. What do you even do? I think it has to be a vehicle.
Maybe they'll do lightsabers. What's the most obscure lightsaber? Maybe they'll do another Reva lightsaber and it gets like 100 backers.
They should be afraid of that because you can get any lightsaber you want now. Lightsabers are like the most common Star Wars collectible now. There's like 2 companies that have made all of them for like less than $200 each. Like any lightsaber you want.
I'm running out of ideas, Chris. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Plus the Phantom Menace toy line like ran so deep, like it made everything as well. So like if you ever want anything Phantom Menace related, you can track it down for what, oh God, less than a HasLab would run you.
What's that big what's that droid Trade Federation thing that unleashes all the battle droids? Like that one's pretty good, the one they made.
Yeah, they made that in 2012.
Yeah. Maybe an update on that, but like that'd be brave.
But go back and look at that one from like 2012. They kind of figured it out. There's nowhere else to go with it.
Yeah. It's pretty great. It's kind of amazing it exists at all. Yeah. But I don't know, man. That's stuff. Maybe I don't know. Maybe like something really dumb like Ahsoka's ship.
But there's no marketing oomph to that right now.
Yeah, but they put out Mandalorian's N1 like a year after that showed up on. But
that wasn't a HasLab. That was just a conventional.
Yeah. It's your one vehicle per year. Might as well be a HasLab. It's like it was a big marketing thing for them.
Here, I'm going through the Rebel Scum forums. We're gonna dig deep into this.
See what Yakface thinks it's gonna be.
I know, right?
You think Yakface thinks it's gonna be an Ewok village?
Is that what he said?
No. That would have happened for a Return of the Jedi 40, but they didn't do that. It was the Ghost.
Zenger, do you have any thoughts on this?
Oh, I'm just looking up dumb stuff. Did you know that Patrick Stewart got divorced in 1990, remarried in 2000, divorced in 2003, and then remarried in 2013, which means
Zenger, what are you doing?
He can only stay divorced for 10 years.
Zenger, I have no idea what you're talking about. Chris, they're going to do a Sith Infiltrator. Darth Maul, Sith Infiltrator. Never done it in proper scale before. There you go.
That's what Yakface is saying. Who do you look? Where you get that from?
No, that's me. That's my own conjecture. Chris, come on, Sith Infiltrator. They only did it once in 2007. It wasn't to scale. 100%. You'll get, and think about the different tiers. You like one tier will be Darth Maul. Second tier will be his little Sith speeder. Or no, tier 2 will be the probe droids. And then like tier 3 will be the Sith speeder. It's going to be the Infiltrator. It has to be.
That's a good call. And if it doesn't make the bike tier, you can just be like, whatever, Hasbro, I can buy one for $5.
I can 3D print one for free.
No, but I mean, you can just get the sealed episode 1 version for like $5. Great.
Or you can get the Duncan sub. Gungan sub for the win. With the in different tiers or just a different fish that try to eat it.
Now we're talking. I would like either of those. Although I can't remember if there's like a 1999 Gungan sub. There probably is.
No, well there is, but like it's very small scale. Like it's again, that's the thing about both that and the Infiltrator. They're not the scale.
And I'm sure they've done a good Trade Federation tank already.
Yeah, they have.
Like the tan colored one.
It's the same mold, but like it's kind of solid. Like you kind of it's I don't want to say perfection, but it's there.
Yeah, that's a good call. That would sell the Sith Infiltrator, the thing that's vaguely shaped like a TIE fighter, so that you know it's a bad guy.
Chris, guess how much the Naboo Royal Starship cost in 1999?
$70.
$99.99.
That's high budget stuff, man. I mean, even the TVC Falcon.
As a kid, I wanted it. My mother wouldn't buy it for me.
I'm not even sure I knew it existed like when that stuff first came out, but I found out about it a couple years later. And back then, it's like you're just never seeing it again at that point if you missed that window. But now I don't want it. It's funny how that works.
What's really fascinating is that like, oh God, how much do they go? I'm looking for like right now. If you get one like out of the box, you can get it for under 100. Must be a nightmare to ship that.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to a big toy show, you'll always see one there, usually with the box.
None have sold recently. That's weird.
Yeah, they're a pain. That's probably not that unusual.
Yeah, none have sold.
Zenger's like, what are 3 3/4 Star Wars figures?
Nah, I'm down a different rabbit hole right now.
He's like, did you know that William Shatner turned 93?
No, I'm looking up Theodore Rex right now and seeing which is worse, this or Food Fight.
Why are you looking that up? Of all the things you can be looking up right now, why?
Because I'm seeing which one lost more money.
That or what? John Carter of Mars?
No, Food Fight, which cost $45 to $65 million.
What does that have to do with any of this?
I'm bored.
Oh my God! You're telling? Okay, Chris, guess how much?
I want obscure, stupid knowledge that people will be like, "What the crap's he talking about?" And then they have to go look up what the crap Food Fight is, and then see a trailer and be like, "Oh, this must have been made in like the '90s." Nope.
Chris, guess how much the Naboo Starfighter cost in 1999?
They got poor Jerry Stiller in on this?
$19.
No, it cost $30.
Oh, it had electronics.
You know what the best part is? That like on the packaging in the back, it shows you putting like Rick Oley into the packaging, and it explicitly says not included. Like, oh no, I gotta buy my own Rick Oley. The Toys R Us employees don't just chuck them at me as I'm walking out the store.
Yeah.
Chris, is there anybody like in your circles that like collects nothing? Like, you know, the guy who collects nothing but Jerry Maguire videotapes? Is there somebody who collects nothing but Rick Oleys?
No, but there is a really great Instagram page. I don't know if you're a Star Wars podcast aficionado, you may have heard of a podcast called Star Wars in Character, and they have an Instagram page called Swick Rick, where people take a Rick Oley figure to famous locations and take a picture of him there. So it looks like the Instagram page is like a traveling Rick Oley figure, kind of like a traveling gnome. It's a pretty great Instagram page. If you think Rick Oley is hilarious, as many do.
Chris, maybe they'll do a section scale Stap and Battle Droid, like reminiscent of like the preview figure from 25 years ago.
Not big enough for a HasLab.
It's not, but one can hope.
Or you could just buy the preview figure now sealed and be cool.
But Chris, I'm going back down the well of Star Wars t-shirts, like all those like liquid blue, like $400 t-shirts. I'm just like, man, those are...
Just get one, just treat yourself once, just get one.
But the good ones are like insanely expensive. Like the really, really good ones are like, you're talking like probably flirting with $1,000. Like,
yeah. And you only wear them when you're like going to your best friend's wedding or something, but it's worth it.
Whew, Zenger, I'm going to show up to Zenger. Remember when you invited me to your wedding? Like, what was it, in 2019 or 2020? It was right before the pandemic. Yeah, I should have shown up in that.
Yeah.
Instead of like a tuxedo t-shirt, it's literally a Phantom Menace like Jar Jar t-shirt.
Cost the same as a real tuxedo. Yeah, it's great.
and that's what he would have said too.
Ellie sees me and like says something negative, and Zenger's like, that shirt costs more than your dress and my suit combined.
He's really showing us respect. Yeah, that's really what it is.
It's a sign of respect, god dang it.
In his culture. Yeah. You know, one time I went at Star Wars Celebration, AFA, which is like the Action Figure Grading Authority. I walked by their booth and everyone behind their table was wearing one of those Liquid Blue Episode 1 shirts. I was like, I get it, guys. You're cool. Like the grading company, where they're all wearing those tie-dye Episode 1 shirts.
I wish I were that cool.
Yeah. It's a status symbol. Yeah.
All right, Chris, I'm sending you something. I want you to explain. Okay, like we really are like going down like Obscureville right now. I'm sorry, listener at home. Maybe we'll get back to the Alien Romulus trailer. Oh my God,
okay, I'm gonna watch this. You guys have mentioned it enough. I'm just gonna watch it.
Zenger, it's just Alien. Like imagine 60 seconds of Alien. Like don't get too excited.
There's not even any engineers in it. Waste of time.
Do you remember when Ridley Scott was telling us that like the sequel to Prometheus was going to be about like killing Jesus?
Yeah,
and that was the whole thing where he's just
Prometheus is about killing Jesus. It's in the movie.
No, it's about because we killed Jesus, and that's why they hate. That's why our creators hate us. Is because we killed one of them.
Yeah. It's there. It's in the movie though. Like it's there. That is what that's all about. That's what Alien is about: killing Jesus. And engineers getting revenge.
Director of Evil Dead? I don't think so.
The remake, dude.
See, they need to point that
Sam
out.
Raimi, no, Chris, tell him Sam Raimi directed this. He'll be inclined to watch it.
The youth only know the Evil Dead remake, Zenger. They don't know they don't know culture of any kind.
Chris, I sent you a link to a Star Wars toy. I had this as a kid. Whose blaster is this? Like, where did this mold come from? There's no way they made this mold for the Phantom Menace. Because it doesn't belong to anybody, this blaster.
Okay, wait. I have questions.
So do I. Get in line.
How are there that many face huggers? You need a queen. You need a
question?
queen to be able to produce that many face huggers.
They went to LV 426. It was a buffet.
What?
There's no limit.
Bags?
This only references...
These people deserve what happened to them.
Much like the last several Terminator sequels, this movie only acknowledges the first Alien movie.
Doesn't do both? It's not like every film wants to be Terminator 3?
This takes place before Aliens, though.
Does it?
So and after... that's
Who
the
told you
latest
that?
news. I read it on the internet, bro.
I read it on the internet.
I can confirm.
Yeah. So that pistol, Zack, that you sent me, that pistol is it looks like it shares mold details with the 1997 Han Solo electronic pistol. So I think they just changed it slightly, and it's like half the Han Solo pistol, and they called it the electronic Tatooine blaster pistol, which is very odd, and it doesn't belong to a character, and I'd be surprised if it matches anything in the movie. It is very weird looking.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not even like what the Naboo guards would use, or even like...
No, it says Tatooine blaster on the box.
That's what I mean. Like it doesn't belong to anybody.
Yeah, it's not. It's just the bottom half of it is Han Solo's blaster. They just changed the top a little bit.
Kind of shenanigans.
Yeah. It's nonsense.
The Wild Wild West.
Yeah. Yeah, like no one shoots anyone on Tatooine in that movie.
No.
Tatooine is like way more peaceful than it was in A New Hope. Yeah. They're not just killing each other in every restaurant like in A New Hope. I mean, Darth Maul does try to run over a kid with a motorcycle, but other than that.
I feel like that's again, I know I'm not the first person to make this joke, but I feel like Darth Maul trying to run over Anakin's like what if we killed baby Hitler? Like, I feel like it's the Star Wars equivalent of that. It's like, was Darth Maul right? How much suffering could have been prevented? Ahsoka tells him in the tunnels of Mandalore, you could have stopped this, you monster.
Yeah, that is the interesting thing, right? Because like Palpatine never, like, you get a little bit of conversation between him and Darth Maul about like following the Queen, and it's always about the Queen must sign the treaty. Palpatine's never tells Darth Maul, like, by the way, they're gonna because of my grand design, they're gonna find a child on Tatooine. Don't run over that kid with your motorcycle. I need that guy later. Palpatine's blissfully ignorant of Anakin's existence.
That's oddly specific, Master. Why? What? Can I run over with the ship instead?
No.
I want that one kid alive. Yeah. No, that's what I mean.
Make sure the hippie Jedi takes them with him.
You're going to have to be more...
Yeah.
And get her to sign the treaty in that order.
You're going to have to be more specific, Master. They all look like hippies to me.
Yeah. Document forging is very difficult in the prequel era. Yeah.
That's what the Acolyte's about. Someone tried to forge some documents and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I am so excited to see episode 1 in the theaters. I'm so glad I haven't watched it for like a couple years. It's going to be great.
It's kind of beautiful. But I am, oh my God. Because Chris, speaking of movie swag in a movie theater, AMC theaters are doing the ARC-2D2 popcorn bucket. I think it's the exact same mold from Rise of Skywalker. But Regal is doing a popcorn bucket and a cup. You can have a second Phantom Menace cup from a re-release. And this one won't say 3D like smudged all over it.
I wonder if it'll be the exact same, but the 3D is just like airbrushed out on Photoshop.
It's not airbrushed. The poor theater employee has a black Sharpie and just
it's the same. They're in the warehouse for 12 years or whatever it is. Yeah. That's good.
That's how Disney recovers its costs.
Yeah. Oh man, this one says Fox on it still. Great.
Ew. Gross.
What? I prefer that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Every time I buy a Star Wars toy and it has a Disney logo on it, I'm just like, it's the Yoda Empire Strikes Back. It just,
Yeah, that's good stuff. Anyway, but like try your best to bring someone to see episode 1 who's never seen a Star Wars.
I don't know. I feel like that could. I feel like that's like a Cinemoddities question. Like I feel like that could backfire.
I mean, if it backfires, it's still going to be good content.
I mean, could you bring somebody who's seen Star Wars and just have them yell out spoilers the entire time?
Palpatine's behind it all.
Oh man, if only Palpatine was behind all this.
He says, "We'll watch your career with great interest." That's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
You know that's going to happen. You know someone's going to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to go to a theater, so yeah, it will happen.
Someone walks out of the theater and ruins it. Qui-Gon's noble end.
That was Liam Neeson when he was watching the movie for the first time. He's like, what? Ian McDermott was the enemy the whole time? I didn't know that. He literally gave an interview saying that after he watched the movie. Like, he finished Principle of Photography without realizing that Ian McDermott was the Emperor.
He didn't realize the Phantom Menace was there all along.
The Phantom Menace is the friends we made along the way.
Yes, perfect.
Now, Chris, that is the true tagline to the Knights of Vader podcast. The Phantom Menace are the friends that we made along the way. Whoo, that's up there with I'm a broken person and can't resist. That's up there. The Phantom Menace are the friends we made along the way.
Good.
Someone make a mental note of that. That's too important to let go.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's okay. It's also the tagline for all of our D&D campaigns.
Yeah, that's the...
So wait, what do we get out of this? Oh, the friends we made along the way. We killed most of them.
I have to say, Phantom Menace re-release, like it's been a while since I've been this excited for something. Like, I don't know. I think Attack of the Clones re-release will be fun as well.
No,
like for me, I can't speak to like palpable at large, but like, I don't know, like the Phantom Menace, okay. Take the Phantom Menace out of it for a second. The idea of seeing think about it. The last time we've seen a Star Wars movie in a theater was Solo. So in 20 years, we've seen only one Star Wars movie in a theater during summer.
That's not accurate, but all right.
Wait, what?
I mean, you said Solo, not Rise of Skywalker.
That was winter.
You just said the last time we saw a Star Wars movie in theaters was Solo.
In summer.
I heard him say in summer.
Okay, well, that's a big difference. Whatever. Besides Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary already happened.
No, that's April. That's April.
Hold on. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, in winter.
Okay, thank you, Geography Zenger. And to be fair, wasn't the Empire Strikes Back one like in July, but that was also a pandemic. So like, I am excluding that for the conversation. And Jedi was April. May is summer movie season. The idea of seeing a kickoff to the summer movie season being a Star Wars especially something as potent as the Phantom Menace, like Chris says, has a little more potency than like Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. That I think is going to be the best part of all this. Just the idea of like it being like 80 degrees outside and it being Star Wars flavored humidity. It's going to be like you are in the Gunga City. Used to save me again.
It's episode 1, the computer game, and you can just murder all the Gungans with no retribution whatsoever. You know, that's what it's like. Yeah, that's a wild game that they recently made available on PS5 for some reason.
Wait, this can't be right. It's saying the releases for...
That's what I said too. I was like, but they released it. It's crazy.
The releases for May of 2024 apparently is Kingdom of... That Planet of the Apes.
Didn't we go through the summer movie season last episode? Or the episode before last? Because we have one in the can percolating.
Well, you got that Planet of the Apes movie, because I'm not going to say its full name, because that's
Furiosa, the Fall Guy, and that's it. Like, there's like nothing this May.
It doesn't have that. It says it has If. The thing I'm looking at has If, the Garfield movie.
Well,
which features somebody who was in a Star Wars and someone else
Chris
who should have
Pratt?
been. Yes. I can just hear people hitting their heads against the wall from this conversation.
I might bleep Chris Pratt.
Oh, never mind. I got it. Yeah, here we go. Now it says Furiosa.
Memorial Day, baby.
Yeah, that's a good kickoff.
But like again, it's also the first summer movie season that doesn't begin with a Marvel movie, which has not happened since 2006.
The world is healing.
I know, it's nice. It's nice when Marvel goes away for a long time. Maybe Disney will learn something from all this.
Nah, they're just going to make worse mistakes now. What does Marvel have on the way?
And also we have Jorge, like we got to wrap up on Jorge backing Bob Iger, and that really just is my least favorite Jorge decision of all time. But what can you do?
He cares about his shares. He doesn't care about the well-being of the company.
I mean, he cares about his shares, but like, even though he signed a contract saying he wouldn't talk crap about the sequels, he does it at every available opportunity.
Does he?
I can think of 3.
Outside of White Slavers, has he ever spoken out about Star Wars in a negative way?
Okay, he has, this is anecdotal, direct interactions I'm talking about, but like, he's not shy about it.
This is Chris's cabal feeding him information.
Well, publicly available information. But I'm just saying, like, he's literally, it's part of his contract that he can't be rude about the sequels and stuff. It's true.
You can't say bad things about us, George.
Yeah, Bob Iger talks about it in his book. Like, that's real. But, yeah, I don't know. But, like, anyways, like, who knows how that's going to play out. But there's been a few blunders as far as box office the last few months. So who knows what'll happen.
Let's see here. We got Deadpool and Wolverine. So good.
Zenger, Kingdom of the Crystal Planet of the Apes is a Disney movie. It's Fox or 20th Century.
I was looking at Marvel movies.
Well, okay,
They're
like
coming out.
We don't need to research cancer. Like we know enough about that as it is.
But hey, there's Agatha Darkhold Diaries series and Ironheart series. I thought that was canceled.
Which list is bigger? A list of Star Wars Disney projects that have been canceled, or Marvel things that have been announced but just kind of on the horizon that never come to pass? Like the Marvel mirage of things announced that we'll never see.
Armor Wars.
I don't pay enough attention to Marvel to know what stuff has been announced and canceled. Whereas Star Wars, there's so many that I could give you a list of like 10 and I won't remember like the other 10. There's so many.
But there's only one that matters. Detours.
1313.
Oh.
Zenger, at this point with AI, you can make your own detours. Like, I guarantee you, in the next 5 years, AI will be advanced enough that you can make your own detours. And Seth Green will be like, who leaked this? And Zenger's going to be like, no, it literally just created it, like, out of whole cloth. Like,
Well, don't admit that it's fake.
No, I got it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pitch a show to Disney based in a comedic Star Wars world, have it written, produced, and then finally have them point out, wait a second, you just made detours. And then I'll get them to release it, and I will do no work the entire time.
Chris, could you ever get Seth Green on this podcast? You must have the clout to know somebody in that circle.
I mean, I know somebody who could send him a message that he would actually see, but it wouldn't go anywhere past that, most likely.
Wow, talk about forecasting something to a dead end. Jeez.
Yeah, I could see it ending there.
No. Offer one of your toys, your 3/4 or whatever.
Offer him one of your Lego.
He already has them all. Haven't you seen the prune-faced robot chicken sequence? That guy's well stocked, man.
Offer him one of your bootleg Star Wars toys. Offer him Sexy Shock T.
No joy.
I mean, you know he has it.
Offer him Sexy Darth Talon.
I mean, there's like some stuff you just can't part with, you know. Like it's such a symbol of the lost times, you know.
No. Give him Zach's fat big Fortuna.
No. Give him the dude popcorn bucket.
If it gets him on this show so I can finally confront him about it.
There's interviews of Seth Green being confronted about detours. Like he's not willing to say that much.
No, but I confront him and then he gives me it. I just want a copy. I will give it to nobody.
Yeah, but now that you said that publicly, he can't give it to you because somebody might.
No,
Bleep it out. Bleep it out.
Bleep it out.
You're saying curse word quick.
Shark farts.
Caca
Yeah,
head.
that's okay. Zach, I gotta show you. Okay, we should probably wrap up soon because we're saying nonsense. But I just want to show Zach one thing. That's one thing is probably gonna
bleep down now.
Yeah, that's great.
Hour 23, Chris.
This will probably annoy Zenger and make him fall asleep. So that's why I'm gonna show it. All right, one sec.
Oh wow! Look at that. Oh wow! I haven't seen one of those in a while.
That's from that video game, and I shot at that thing and destroyed it during that final battle thing.
It's a Shadows of the Empire Virago model kit which is Prince Shizor's ship.
Bless you.
And I'm going to pay someone to build it and paint it nicely because I don't want to.
What the? Weird flex, but okay.
Zenger's like Dash Rendar.
Hold on, wait a second. I got this.
But look at that beautiful painted box art, you know? Yeah, I mean...
Noob.
I got this Lego Star Wars Darth Vader head that I'm going to pay somebody to build and respect for me so I don't have to. That's how pretentious I am with my Legos.
I like my unbuilt model kits to be 30 years old. All right.
Oh man, I wish I had more stuff around me so I could partake in the gag, but Zenger's absolutely right, Chris. That was like the weirdest humble brag ever. That was like
it's not as expensive as you might think. You just find one of those Warhammer guys, they love doing that stuff.
Where do you find them at? Go into your local comic book store and be like, "Hey, nerds!"
Zenger, think of like a Home Depot. Think of like a Home Depot with day laborers, but it's a comic book shop.
Oh Dude. No, I know. I've played Magic the Gathering. I know where these people are. They're not hard to find.
Zenger, I need to say this now, but like I literally was checking out from a trading card store where I purchased some Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering cards, and I asked the man, "Do you know anybody who would paint a model kit on commission?" And he gave me his own phone number as I was checking out. It is exactly what you described.
The level of anguish on Zenger's face.
You act like I didn't play Magic for years. Or I had to go rub shoulders with these people. They're disgusting. And thank you for listening.
That's good stuff.
All right, we got nowhere else to go but down after that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
hold on,
great.
wait. Actually, hold on.
No, Chris, what have you done?
Hold on. I painted this.
Okay, so that's it. I'm sending Zenger my Shadows of the Empire Virago. That's
yes.
I get a better price from Zenger. Yeah, who knows when I'll see it? It might take 5 years, but you know.
Yeah, I've been paying this for like the past 3.
All right, good talk. Yeah. So and to summarize, there's a show called The Acolyte, and I bought a Shadows of the Empire Virago model kit.
Is that the takeaway? Is that could be in the description on the all streaming platforms?
No, there's a show called The Acolyte. Apparently, there's a new alien movie that I didn't watch the trailer for.
It'll be better than The Acolyte, but the trailer's kind of boring.
No, the trailer leaves you being with so many questions. Like I said, where do all the face huggers come from? Unless you just went to a buffet of eggs and you're like, let's take them all.
I'm pretty sure that's literally the plot to Alien, except I only took one by accident.
Oh, crap, it is. Man, people are stupid in these movies.
You don't say. So concludes this episode of Knights of Vader, a Star Wars podcast. Check out the Facebook group. Type in Knights of Vader in the Facebook, and we will be there waiting for you. Harass Chris on Instagram at KOV Podcast. Tell him you too will paint his 30-year-old model. If you like what you hear, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes and leave us a rating on the Spotify machine. Thank you to An Insperiority Complex for providing our theme song. In the meantime, when I am not on this podcast, you can find me on Instagram at Rogue Knight because Cinemoddities is once again on a weird hiatus. But when you are not waiting for more Cinemoddity episodes to drop, Chris, when you are not having people paint models for you, where can you be found?
Okay, you can find me at the Chris Porteous on Instagram, and just if you're still listening to this and you haven't followed at KOV Podcast on Instagram, that's the place you have to go to see my finished when it's done being painted Virago. So you should go there and follow it.
Okay, Zenger, when you are finished painting the Virago, where can people find you?
Displaying it at my local nerd store, whatever.
Nerd store. The nerd store called. They want their Virago model back.
Now you can find me on the ZengThis Podcast, which will be coming back soon with new episodes. But in the meantime, you can definitely check me out watching X-Men 97. I'm not like streaming it or anything. I'm just watching it. So yeah, it's good. Bold statement.
Okay. Kind of lost my train of thought there for a second with that level of passion. Good night, but not goodbye. And as always, may the Force be with you.
And Zenger is turning off his fan, which I cannot hear anyway.
That's all to say. Like Zenger and the fan, like feels like it's like a rite of passage at this point.
Okay.
I hear no difference, but that's dedication.
Really?
Yeah. You're like, I could have had that on every time.
Yeah, exactly. Also, if there's any cats in the background, I apologize. Ellie and the kids are currently in Florida, so apparently they all want attention, but not at the same time, and it's completely separate from each other, so.
Yep. Highly unacceptable conduct for a pre-recorded audio podcast.
Yeah.
Only if the cat can be on the recording. That's what matters.
I mean, I can try to get her. Nala, you want to come over here?
Oh my god, a Disney cartoon cat name.
I'm against it. I didn't get to name this one. My idea was like Tanga or something fun, and Ellie's like, "Nah, we're naming it after Nala." And I was like, "You mean that didn't do anything while like Scar took over?"
Can you feel the love tonight, Zenger? That's the real question.
Screw no.
SFX.
Yeah, there you go. At least you can name the cat Mufasa.
I mean, at least he did something. He wasn't like
He died.
Yeah, exactly, and caused Scar's uprising instead of was sedentary during it and did nothing.
I mean, he tried his best.
I mean, Nala did nothing now. Seriously, Kat, what are you doing?
Fantastic B-roll right there.